Okay guys, here we go with part 2. What I usually start out with is probably what you're not supposed to start out with, but this is what I do. I kind of work around here or there, but I go with the dry first. So I get some chalk, just load it up on the brush, and just kind of hit, just where you know rust is going to be, especially around the door edges, fender edges. I don't know if you can see how it's kind of coming in. You know it's going to be rustier down at the bottom. Then you know the scratches are going to have some water running off of them, and you know, pulling some of that rust color down. Any seam line, you're going to want to just pull it down, just how I do it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but you're starting to get, you know, it's going to dull the color out. It's going to just make it just a nice little brown. Just like I said, just kind of where there's excuse me, there's a body line, or you know, an edge of a fender. And then if you want, you can add some black, just to give it a little bit more gunk. Just kind of put it in there, make it look a little bit more dirty. But just remember, you know, don't try to make it even all the way around. Rust is rust, and it's going to, you know, go where it's going to want to go. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Get more over here on that one, around the door panels, like that. Okay, so now you can kind of see how it's coming, where I'm going with this. Just drag it down. You're gonna know where your rust marks are gonna be. And a good thing to do, at least what I do, especially for the shop truck I just did, is looked online, kind of researched rusty cars, kind of looked into what all they encompass and what they look like, where the rust kind of goes on them, and that's a good thing to do. I know Dr. Cranky's talked about that quite often, but just Google rusty cars. I mean, there's it's one good thing about the internet. It's always going to be out there waiting for you to find, and it's free, so that's the even better part. So you can kind of see how I got some of the cracks coming down. Now let me, there we go, hey, you can see that it's coming along. Let me stop here for a second and get some paint ready, and then we'll go into, I guess I call them highlights, but it's just going to be like the darker areas where it's going to be really rusty, or it's going to have, you know, more gunk and stuff like that. So let me switch things around and I'll be right back. Okay, got everything all situated now, and I like to use rubber just because it doesn't have a strict, it's more, I guess it's got more dirt in it. I guess it's not black, it's not the flat rust, but with this now I like to go lighter and work to darker. So you just kind of mix it up, put some on here, see how it's a nice little brown color there, rusty color I guess. But what I'll do then is I'll get it, and like with the scratches, I'll just bring some, wipe it out a little bit. You want to thin it down, kind of like a wash, I guess. Kind of don't have the means to get a lot of washes, so I got to kind of make stuff up as I go along. But this seems to work. and you know, you don't worry about if it's exact or not, how thick it is. Just keep thinning it out. You can always go over it. That's a good thing. Just kind of drag it down. I'll help put some pictures up at the end so you can actually kind of see, you know, what it actually kind of looks like. Then I'll just keep adding dark as I go. Probably should open the black, but just kind of get it to where you want it. Get in the middle here. Just kind of drag it down. Water is going to take the path of least resistance, so you know, just kind of drag it to where you think water would follow. I don't know if you can see how it's getting darker, but always just where I always add these streaks where the rust is coming through the paint, or the scratch is at its deepest, so to speak. Just keep rubbing it. I just rub it in the tray, get some of the paint out, and then you can just kind of dry brush it down. Just kind of work it as it goes. And then once you got that, you can always come back. If there's a spot you don't like, just get some of the chalk. Just kind of rub it up, kind of dull it down a little bit. And I also have a smaller brush that I use with barely any bristles, but it's more fine lines, so you can like really get in there and just bring it down, just kind of like that. So now what I'd probably do, since there's a body line here, I know that water's going to collect underneath that body line quite a bit, so I'm going to want to just add just a little rust line, I call it, I guess. So it's a little darker. Just kind of bring it down randomly, little random streaks. You know, it's going to collect a little bit more around the door edges, so I'll get just enough little things of, or a little dab of flat rust, and work it in there. And like I said, if you get a little bit too much, that's okay. You can go over it with the chalk, and it actually helps it to blend in a little more, look a little more realistic, at least to me. I know Dr. Cranky's got a great way of doing it. Don Yost has a great way of doing it. Repark Killer has an excellent way of doing it, and it all comes down to how it's going to work for you. Now this works for me. I don't have an option of getting some Vallejo paints or getting into the little kits that actually makes it look like rust. So I just kind of do with what I got, and it seems to work out for me anyway. I don't have a lot of cash to store up